Look, let's just be real for a second. Your paycheck is disappearing way faster than it was, 2 or 3 years ago? We're living in 2026, and honestly, economic volatility isn't just some fancy term you see scrolling on a news ticker anymore. It's basically just life now. Your rent, your groceries, even those random subscriptions you forgot to cancel. It feels like they're all in on this coordinated heist against your bank account. And the thing is, if you're still managing your money like it's 2019 or even 2023, you're not just behind, you're sort of vulnerable, you know? So I wanted to sit down and actually map this out, not just saving money in a generic way, but building a fortress, a roadmap that's actually designed to survive whatever the market or the world decides to throw at us next. This is how we're handling paychecks in 2026. First off, we need a reality check on the blueprint. You've probably heard of the 50-30-20 rule, right? It's classic, but in 2026, we have to give it a bit of an edge. 50% of your income goes to your needs. And look, I know, in this economy, that is easily the hardest bucket to manage. We're talking housing, utilities, the basics. If that number is creeping up towards 60 or 70%, let me think. It usually means one of two things. Either you've got a major spending leak or, and this is more common now, there's a lifestyle to income mismatch. If your needs are eating your whole check, you don't have a budget problem. You have an income or a fixed cost problem, and that needs an audit like yesterday. Then you've got 30% for your wants. I feel like people think this is just fun money, but it's sort of your mental health tax. You can't just grind and never live, right? But, and this is the important part, in a volatile year like this one, this 30% is actually your first line of defense. If things go sideways, this is the buffer. This is what you slash to keep the ship afloat if the world gets weird. And then that final 20%, this is the non-negotiable part, savings and debt. This is the seed money for your freedom. Honestly, if you aren't hitting that 20% mark, you aren't building a future. You're just subsidizing your boss's next vacation. You get what I mean? But before we even talk about investing, we have to talk about your Iron Dome, your emergency fund. Back in the day, people said 3 months of expenses was plenty. But in 2026, that's officially dead advice. Between AI-driven shifts in the job market and the way the industry just pivots overnight, 3 months is just a blink. You need a liquid emergency fund that covers 4 to 6 months, minimum. And I mean liquid. It needs to be in a high-yield savings account, somewhere it can at least fight off inflation a little bit, but stay accessible within 24 hours. This isn't an investment, really. It's just insurance. It's the sleep well at night fund, so a car breakdown or a sudden restructuring at work doesn't turn into a total downward spiral. If you don't have this, everything else we're about to talk about is sort of just built on sand. Now let's talk about the beast, debt. It's a parasite, plain and simple. Especially now with interest rates being where they are, debt eats your future before you even get to see it. To kill it, you just need to pick a lane and stay in it. You've got the debt snowball, which I actually love for the psychological side of things. You list your debts smallest to largest, ignore the interest rates for a second, and just attack the little one first. I mean, the human brain loves a win, right? Seeing an account actually hit zero gives you that dopamine hit you need to keep going to the next one. But then there's the debt avalanche. This is for the math people. You list them by interest rate and attack the highest one first. It's objectively the fastest way to save the most money, but let's be honest, it takes some serious cold discipline. It can feel like you're not making progress for a long time. Anyway, I don't care which one you pick, just pick one. The only wrong choice in 2026 is staying in debt and letting those interest payments bleed you dry. Okay, so let's say the debt is under control and the emergency fund is parked. Now we move to the wealth machine. This is the tiered approach. We invest in layers. Tier 1 is the employer match. I'm always shocked by how many people leave this on the table. If your job offers a retirement match and you aren't taking it, you're literally handing back a 100% return on your money. That's free money. It's the only free lunch in finance. Take every single penny of it. Tier 2 is your tax-advantaged accounts. Specifically, I'm talking about the Roth IRA. Look, tax codes are always shifting, and who knows what they'll look like in 20 years. I feel like the Roth is your best friend because you're paying taxes on the seed now, so you don't have to pay taxes on the harvest later. When you're 60 and the world looks totally different, having a massive pile of tax-free cash is going to make you look like a literal genius. And then Tier 3 is your standard brokerage account. This is only after you've maxed out the tax-free stuff. This is for the wealth you might actually want to touch or use before you're officially retired. It's about building layers of accessibility. But here is the thing. The real secret sauce for 2026, it isn't actually your picks or your strategy, it's your automation. I'll be the first to tell you, you are not disciplined enough to do this manually every month. I mean, nobody is. Willpower is a limited resource, and by the time Friday night rolls around and you've had a long week, your willpower is spent. You're gonna want to buy that thing or go to that dinner. You have to automate the entire system. Your paycheck should be split the second it hits your account or even before. A portion goes to your bills, a portion goes to the emergency fund, a portion goes straight to your investments. If you never see the money in your checking account, you never miss it. Automation turns saving from a difficult, painful decision you have to make every 30 days into a background process that just runs while you sleep. In 2026, if your wealth isn't on autopilot, you're making it way harder than it needs to be. One last thing I really want to touch on, and this is sort of the future-proofing part of the roadmap. We have to talk about the elephant in the room. In 2026, having just one source of income, it's a single point of failure. It's risky. Things are moving way too fast for that. You need to start looking at diversified income streams. I'm not saying you need to go out and start some massive corporation or work 20 hours a day. It just means you need financial legs to stand on. Maybe that's a side hustle using a skill you already have, or maybe it's building up a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks or even digital assets that generate a bit of passive income. Whatever it is, you want to get to a point where if one stream gets blocked or your industry shifts, the other streams keep the lights on. Diversification isn't just for your stock portfolio anymore, it's for your paycheck. Look, I know this sounds like a lot, and to be fair, it is. But managing your money right now isn't about being some Wall Street wizard. It's about being an architect. It's about building a system that works so you don't have to. By following that 50-30-20 split, building a real emergency fund, and just honestly letting the automation do the heavy lifting, you're not just surviving the volatility, you're actually positioning yourself to profit from it while everyone else is panicking. The roadmap is right there. I mean, it's all laid out. The real question is, are you going to get in the driver's seat, or are you just going to keep sitting in the passenger seat of your own life? You get what I mean? So yeah, start with the automation. Just one thing today. Set up that auto transfer. Your future self is going to thank you for it.